Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you Ridgecrest Planning Commission news, an update on the terror attack in Belgium, news from the Ridgecrest Police Department, school district news, election news, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In city news, the Ridgecrest Planning Commission met Tuesday evening at City Hall. At the meeting, they decided these items. They approved a minor amendment to a comprehensive sign permit from Eastern Sierra Marketplace, which is the Super Walmart stores. They were requesting modifications to the signs approved in 2011. They did get that approval. Next, they considered an extension of time for a conditional use permit for the Desert Area Resource and Training Expansion. This is a request to add an 8,000 square foot building at the existing DART facilities located on a 2.8-acre lot on North Gold Canyon Drive. It took longer than expected to get all the permits and planning in place, they said. They are now all ready to go. They should be breaking ground in about a month. The extension was approved. Then they received a revised building elevations for site plan review for the existing McDonald's located on North China Lake Boulevard. This was just an informational item. And finally, they had a discussion of prioritizing 95 general plan implementation measures. 40 have been completed to date. Now they have to decide on the other 55. Finally, Planning Director Matthew Alexander reported that we'll see the first 3 median art projects installed on China Lake Boulevard real soon. They are approved and will be installed Friday if all goes as planned. There will be a piece each from the artists Burford, Gorman, and Dowd. Installation should begin early Friday morning. This will be nice to see this effort being actually realized. Here's a report from the Ridgecrest Police Department. On March 15th, Officer Ballestero investigated a theft of 8 semi-truck tires worth $4,000 from Pearson's Recycling. The suspects entered the recycling yard by cutting a hole in the fence. Surveillance video footage shows the vehicle towing a trailer on Mahan Street at the time of the theft. Officer Ballestero, along with Kern County Sheriff's Officer Deputy Clote, responded to a report of an abandoned trailer in the 700 block of Nolan Street. The trailer matched the trailer seen in the surveillance video, and it was then determined the trailer was reported stolen from Home Depot. Officer Ballestero then discovered the stolen tires approximately 200 yards from the trailer. The trailer and tires were returned to the owners. No arrests have been reported yet. If anyone has any information on this theft, please contact Sergeant Bell at the Ridgecrest Police Department. You can reach him at 760-499-5100. Now the latest on the terror attack in Brussels, Belgium. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the coordinated attacks, and an ISIS flag was found in one of the terrorist rooms. So far, 30 people were murdered and 230 people were wounded by these coward jihadists. Attacks of innocent, unarmed citizens is an act of cowardice. The cowards won't go onto the battlefield in an equal environment. Instead, they attack defenseless people. Airport video shows 3 men pushing carts into the airport. Obviously, they were the bombs. What the picture shows is 2 of the men had gloves on. 1 didn't. The police believe the gloved hands were covering detonators. So if anyone approached them, all they have to do is open their hand and the bomb goes off. But what is surprising is that the 3rd guy was pushing the cart with no glove on. Police say they recovered his bomb cart unexploded. But investigators believe the one in the light-colored clothing planted the bomb at the airport and then just left. Police say they are looking for this man. Authorities called him a wanted man and asked for the public's help tracking him down. 2 of the men, wearing black in surveillance images, are believed to be the suicide bombers who died in the explosions in the airport's departure lounge. CNN is reporting that a break in the investigation may have come from a taxi driver who took the suspects to the airport. The driver contacted authorities after seeing surveillance footage and gave them the address where he picked the men up, according to 2 U.S. officials briefed on the investigation. That information prompted authorities to raid a residence after the attacks. Belgium's federal prosecutor said investigators found a nail bomb, chemical products, and an ISIS flag during a house search in the northeast Brussels neighborhood of Schaerbeek. Hours later, they were still combing through the building for evidence. Security was high. As masked armed officers stood guard outside the building, the burst of camera flashes inside could be seen from the street below. Officers left the building carrying bags of evidence they loaded into vehicles. Obama made a short comment of condolences to the Belgian people. Trump has called for increasing border security, enacting a temporary ban on people coming in from certain areas of the world, and stopping some visas for a short time until we can strengthen our background check system. Cruz has called for tighter surveillance of Muslim neighborhoods to get control of the situation. Both expressed their sympathy for those killed and hurt in the blast. Clinton and Sanders continue their resistance to any tightening of our standards to let anyone in the country. Instead, they both just offered condolences to the Belgian people and said we need to better understand these people and try to work in the world community to stop this violence. Remember, these two both have declared our southern border secure. No further fence building is needed. Kasich just provided sympathy for the victims and said this: "We must redouble our efforts with our allies to root out these perpetrators of evil acts." Here's a statement from Congressman Kevin McCarthy. "My prayers go out to the victims and their families of the terrorist attack in Brussels. As we mourn with the Belgian and European allies, we must also remember the only way to stop these attacks is to defeat terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Terrorism knows no boundaries. It doesn't respect borders. It doesn't care about innocent people. Here at home, the House remains cognizant of the threat our country faces, which is why I have put together a task force on counterterrorism and homeland security to recommend changes in laws that will help keep America safe. The House has passed several bills of these recommendations, including strengthening our visa waiver program and pausing the Syrian refugee program. Just last night, we passed another bill from the task force, the Counterterrorism Screening and Assistance Act, which requires other countries to strengthen their travel screening so threats don't come to our shores. This bill and many other legislative ideas will remain an ongoing priority of Congress so that we make America more secure. So the Republicans in the House are trying to strengthen our security effort. We'll have to see if the Senate takes up the bills. And if they don't, who will be blamed for the inaction of Congress? Of course, even if the whole Congress passes the bills, my guess would be that Obama would veto the bills as an overreaction to the threat, and offensive to our friends worldwide. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll have election news. Thanks for staying with us. Well, Tuesday, March 22nd, we had Republican elections in American Samoa, Utah, and Arizona. There were 107 delegates available. For the Democrats, we had elections in Idaho, Utah, and Arizona, with 131 delegates available. Trump won Arizona and Cruz won Utah. Both won their states very respectfully. The Arizona results were Trump 47% to Cruz 25% and Kasich with 10%. Cruz had the biggest percentage win in Utah. The Utah votes showed Cruz with 69%, followed by Kasich with 17%, and Trump with 14%. The American Samoa delegates went uncommitted, so they hold their votes until the convention. The other surprise was Clinton only winning Arizona. She got 57% to Sanders' 40%. Sanders won both Idaho and Utah by sizable margins. The votes showed Sanders clobbering Clinton. Sanders got 80% and Clinton got 20%. In Idaho, it shows Sanders again clobbering Clinton with the biggest wins of any candidate in the state primary. Sanders won with 78% and Clinton with 21%. So what's next in the election cycle, you ask? This Saturday only, the Democrats have elections going on. They have votes in Alaska, Hawaii, and Washington. On April 5th, only one state votes for both parties, Wisconsin. This is a big election because 96 delegates are available. After that Saturday, April 9th, there is a Democrat Wyoming caucus. The next big election is Tuesday, April 19th. New York holds their primary. And then the next Super Tuesday won't be until April 26th. That day, there will be elections in Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. The current delegate count is as follows. Yesterday, Trump won Arizona, getting 58 delegates. Cruz won Utah, getting 40 delegates. Kasich didn't get any delegates yesterday. The totals now are Trump with 739 delegates, Cruz with 465, and Kasich with 143. There's 1,237 delegates needed to win the nomination. There are still 944 available. Trump needs to win 498 of the remaining delegates to win the nomination. Trump has received 7.8 million votes to Cruz's 5.7 million and Kasich's 2.8 million votes. For easy reporting, I have rounded off the numbers. On the Democrat side, Clinton won Arizona and Sanders won Utah and Idaho. Clinton gained 51 delegates and Sanders gained 67 delegates. So now their totals are Clinton leading with 1,681 delegates and Sanders with 937 delegates. Their popular votes to date now total Clinton with 8.9 million and Sanders with 6.3 million votes. It's interesting to watch Clinton claim she has received the most popular votes of any candidate, which is true, except she fails to mention that the Republicans were splitting their votes 17 ways in the beginning, then down to about 10 ways for a few elections, and then 4 for a couple more elections, and now there are 3 splitting them up. So the claim, while technically correct, is just another page in her disingenuous claims. Again, the real next big election are a month away on April 26th. There's a lot of heat on Kasich to drop out, but he said he's in to stay. So stay strong, everybody. The ride continues. In news from the Indian Wells Valley School District, we hear they held their regular meeting Monday afternoon. At that meeting, they awarded the bid for the new Murray Middle School to Lease Buildings for the design, fabrication, and installation of the modular structures for the new school. The contract is for just over $20 million. 80% of the costs will be paid for by the Department of Defense, and the remaining 20% will be paid from several other sources. Ernie Bell, school superintendent, expressed joy that the award has finally been done and that they'll get moving on the construction. In local news, we get the announcement that the 21st Annual Respect for Law Recognition Dinner is this Friday. The dinner is to recognize local law enforcement officers from every department that services Ridgecrest and the Valley. They'll be honoring Officers of the Year from the following agencies: Ridgecrest Police, Kern County Sheriff, China Lake Police, and the California Highway Patrol. The dinner is hosted by Footprinters, Rotary Club, Lions Club, Elks Lodge, Optimist Club, Kiwanis Club, the Women's Center, Knights of Columbus, and the American Legion. The dinner will be at 5:30 p.m. at the Elks Lodge on East Church Street, here in Ridgecrest. Tickets can be purchased from any host organizations. The tickets are $18 per person and must be purchased in advance. No tickets will be sold at the door. Advanced sales are necessary to allow the caterer to order the right amount of food. No host bar will be available. For more information, contact Jan Bennett at 760-382-4488 or her email at skipandjan@gmail.com. Again, the dinner is this Friday, 5:30 p.m. at the Elks Lodge. Here's a retirement announcement from China Lake. We usually don't carry these, but this is the retirement of a friend of mine. I used to work with him on the base. Richard Bear Keith received a Career Service and Length of Service Award from Rear Admiral Brian Corey, Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division Commander, recognizing his 40 years at China Lake during a ceremony March 18th. It's not too often that we have people who go over 40 years of service, so it's definitely worth taking a few minutes to recognize and honor, Corey said. That is a symbol of amazing dedication, and we never take it for granted. Keith has worked in the Public Works paint shop, served as a resident officer in charge of contracts for the resident officer in charge of construction office, and currently works as a facilities management specialist at the Electronic Combat Range. I guarantee you it's been the best place I've worked, Keith said. Way to go, Bear. It was a pleasure working with you at Echo Range. Now in KZGN continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Since my last report on Monday, local prices held steady. The good news is we still have the lowest prices in all the areas we were monitoring. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.43 to $2.99 per gallon. Lancaster's from $2.59 to $2.99. The LA Valley area, $2.53 to $2.75, and the Bishop area, $2.67 to $2.99. We have 3 stations at the $2.43 per gallon number. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, When you pay sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, a winter weather system will continue to impact the Central Rockies into early Wednesday. It then moves over the upper Midwest toward the Great Lakes and New England. Meanwhile, an extensive fire weather threat covers a wide area from eastern New Mexico to Missouri and is expected to last through midweek. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas is 67, Georgia is 68, Arkansas is 68, northern Texas at 67, Arizona is 67, and Los Angeles at 69. And for us locally, tonight, mostly clear with a low around 42, east wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 77, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 46, east-southeast wind 5 miles per hour. Friday, sunny with a high near 79, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 47, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny with a high near 75, north-northeast wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 44, northeast wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 79, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
So that's the news for today. All of the KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. And remember, join us Tuesday mornings for the Kern County Supervisors meetings at 9 a.m. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.